You guys don't need to worry about me getting revenge from Diddy. I've got 3 moves that make sure he'll never be able to come after me or my family. First, I personally reached out to the victims' legal teams. The real reason he's not getting out is those buried cases behind the scenes. I provided legal funding for 7 victims who had been silent for years and brought in the top criminal attorneys in the country. Second, I bought up every potential post-release business deal he had lined up. I planned this 2 years in advance, so by the time he got sentenced and still had hope of getting out, every partner had already cut ties with him. Third, I don't just have evidence, I've got backups. This is an entire minefield that's been buried for 20 years. I uncovered every secret from the last 30 years. With testimonies from the victims, we interviewed over a dozen people he tricked, threatened, or violated. You think that's harsh? No, he destroyed other people's lives for decades. I'm just making sure he spends a few extra years in prison for it. I'm not afraid of his people, not afraid of his threats. I know he's still in there fantasizing about a comeback, but the truth is, he's never coming back.
Man, I'm chilling. I ain't bothering nobody, I'm just chilling, you know what I'm saying? I go shopping, I give me a mean leather jacket, I think I'm doing my thing, I'm like, you know, I'm my own little planet. I ain't with nobody, so always gotta try to one up on me, right? Have one up on me. I get a banging leather jacket, this Busta get a leather line up.
If Busta ever try to front on me, hit you with no delay, so what you saying, yo? Silly with that 9 milli, what the devil, yo? Yeah, I do his better than him. He better not play with me. I will and perform Busta Rhymes show. Look, man, and they try to say that if you ever thought that the Busta Rhymes was better than me, you crazy. You crazy, man. You just looking at this the wrong way.
I got to ask you, there has been so much going on in the music industry and the headlines pertaining to Diddy. How closely are you paying attention to his case, the allegations, and the things that are coming forward with him?
I just kind of like to pay attention to the truth. When that time manifests, then, you know, we'll speak about this, hopefully when that time comes. As far as I'm concerned, you know what I'm saying, but I wish the best for everyone involved. God bless everyone involved. And, you know, I think that we should all kind of be a little more mindful of how much we speak on other things.
At that time, Puff was the biggest guy in the world. Well, you couldn't even get him his party. And he was throwing a party, and he said, yo, Playboy, this party's $1.5 million. I said, for what? I mean, what are you saying? He said, it costs $1.5 million to throw this party. I said, Puff, oh my God, I love it. The party's amazing. Yes, the mayor is here and everything. I said, but that's too much money. I said, you come to my place in LA, I'll throw you a party for $400 that will rival this party. And he got a little mad because, you know, he was like, yo.
For weeks, scattered clips and offhand comments drifted across the internet like noise. But the documentary pulls them together into one relentless narrative, one that corners Busta Rhymes at the worst possible moment. What starts as casual talk about image, status, and who made the first move quickly spirals into a ruthless battle for credibility. The tone shifts fast, and once the internet decides who the villain is, everything changes. Timelines turn into courtrooms. Every clip becomes evidence. Every word is dissected. And there's no judge, no rules, and absolutely no mercy. In a world where perception travels faster than facts, one question keeps echoing louder than ever. Can the truth ever catch up?
Rhymes is a visual artist. It's always been that. When Busta don't look like Busta, because Busta neck getting big and Busta belly is sticking out.
Tell him to change too big. Whoa, man. Tell that nigga change too big. He ain't got no friends. They're not telling him.
Busta can't match up with 50. Is you crazy? Put that shit in front of me. Put that shit on the side. Put that shit behind me. Man, he's at a point where he just had a moment and everybody showing their appreciation for his run.
Bring up the 50 Cent for bringing us out there with him on that Final Lap tour. Did the first show July 21st. My last show was November 21st. He's still on that same tour.
Yeah, man.
He don't play with that work. Ever since he first came to Violator and the first Get Rich or Die Trying came out, he was the only one that would jump on a plane like the shit was a cab. This is how he...
There was a time when 50 Cent and Busta Rhymes moved like a unit, sharing the same stage energy, celebrating victory side by side, and watching each other's backs in an industry known for turning allies into rivals overnight. But the documentary reveals how quickly that bond began to fracture. What once looked like unshakable brotherhood slowly shifted into distance, silence, It shows just how fast loyalty can be tested when controversy enters the room, and how even the strongest alliances can start to crack under pressure. In hip-hop, loyalty is praised like scripture, but rarely examined under a spotlight this harsh. And when standing by someone starts to feel like a risk instead of a strength, everything changes. Because in the end, one question cuts deeper than all the rest. When loyalty becomes a liability, who really stays? True friends, or just silent spectators?
I got to ask you, there has been so much going on in the music industry and the headlines pertaining to Diddy. How closely are you paying attention to his case, the allegations, and the things that are coming forward with him?
I just kind of like to pay attention to the truth. When that time manifests, then, we'll speak about this, hopefully when that time comes. As far as I'm concerned, you know what I'm saying, but I wish the best for everyone involved. God bless everyone involved. And, I think that we should all kind of be a little more mindful of how much we speak on other things.
One of the most unsettling truths isn't just what was said, but how precisely it was engineered. The documentary suggests that many modern conflicts aren't random at all, they're carefully shaped for maximum impact. A single offhand remark becomes a viral clip. That clip evolves into a narrative. And that narrative, it turns into profit. In this system, truth isn't the product, attention is. The louder the reaction, the bigger the reach. And the more chaotic the story becomes, the more valuable it is to those who know how to control the spotlight. It blurs the line between reality and performance, where authenticity can be overshadowed by what trends, and perception often outweighs proof. So when outrage becomes currency and controversy becomes strategy, one question lingers louder than ever. In a world built on attention, who actually gets rewarded for staying real?
Talking about Busta Rhymes before.
Oh yeah.
In some of your videos.
Oh yeah. Super zest monster. For sure, bro. That's my thing, bro. Like, this been common knowledge though. Like, all my promoter homies would always say, man, we gotta bring some we gotta bring some, what they call them, I'm not gonna say it on here. They call them fun boys. They'll say we gotta have some fun boys in the section for Busta. Cause I bodyguarded for Ghostface Killer before, you feel me? And being around him, you hear things, you feel me? I'm like, damn. And my auntie like the biggest Busta Rhymes fan, you feel me? Like, every cookout she playing it, all his little fast rapping, all of that, him and Craig Mack playing that. Bro, on my soul, I'm out with a group of people. At this time, I was with Don Benjamin. You familiar with him?
No, I never heard of him.
Model dude, like a model guy. He be doing like some rapping and stuff. His name Don Benjamin. I'm out with Don Benjamin, and the club we ended up going to, Busta Rhymes in there. So it was a little lawyer guy that was with us. And the little lawyer guy we was with, he was a gay dude, super cool, feel me, good guy.
The documentary crosses into dangerous territory when rumors about identity, orientation, and personal lives are turned into entertainment. What should be private becomes public spectacle, reduced to clips, jokes, and viral moments. It opens the door to a much deeper cultural question. Has hip-hop truly evolved, or is it still wrestling with the same pressures around masculinity, image, and perception? Because there's a clear line between critique and dehumanization, and too often that line gets blurred. When identity becomes a punchline, it doesn't just impact the individuals involved, it shapes how entire audiences think, react, and judge. In a space built on expression and authenticity, the real challenge isn't just who speaks the loudest, it's whether the culture can grow enough to allow honesty without turning it into ridicule.
Rhymes wanted him in his section so bad, like, what? Pulled him to the section, like through the rope, and tucked him off in the corner. So I'm looking like, well, he ain't come with us. Well, I know he was in the little group. So if I go out with somebody, like a group of people, I try to make sure everybody get there together and leave together. No, he stayed with them. He stayed in there with them, bro. For sure, bro. You ain't never heard about this before, have you? Bro, that's common knowledge, bro. Like, if you in the mix, bro. If you in the mix, like I've been in the mix, you know this, bro.
How long has it been like this known about Busta Rhymes?
Well, I knew about this like in 2012. I knew about this in 2012.
How come you think nobody else speaks up on it or says anything?
Because, bro, these people admire these people so much. They want to make sure they in the section, they at the club, they at the video shoot, they can get backstage. That matter most to them. That matters so much to people. It's crazy. Like, but if you notice, like, it's countless videos of Busta Rhymes getting mad at females for just being girls.
The damage extends far beyond reputation. It becomes deeply social and personal. Once a narrative takes hold, stigma spreads faster than facts, and correction rarely travels as far as the original claim. In that environment, a moment meant as content can carry real-world consequences, affecting relationships, opportunities, and mental well-being long after the clip stops trending. It forces a difficult reflection on modern media culture. When something is packaged for entertainment, does that make it harmless or just easier to ignore its impact? Because when a joke can echo into someone's real life and reshape how they're seen, the line between content and consequence starts to disappear. And that leaves one uncomfortable question behind. Was it ever just content at all?
You go crazy, throw a drink on her and everything. See what I'm saying? Like, what? Why you getting mad at females? You go to these guys, they in the club, go to their section. It's all men in the section. That ain't weird to nobody. I'm going to the bar, sorry. Text me if it get dangerous. But there's all this club security in here, like nothing's finna happen. Nobody wanna kill you guys, bro. Like, when I get jobs from people who really got a threat on their life, I move way different. Nobody wants to kill these entertainers like that, bro. Like when I do my threat assessment, there's never an immediate threat or danger. It's never a situation that they're gonna tell me, oh, this person wants to murder me, this person wants to bring harm on me. It's never like that. Them type of people be normal guys. So, I hear somebody say, oh, he's cute, I want him. So when I heard that, I turned around like, man, did he just say that? Man, you got all this jewelry to attract some men in here? You wild. Shocked me. But sure enough.
And that was the guy that Busta Rhymes pulled back?
He pulled him into the section. Pulled him into the section, and then they walled him off like this man. I'm like, damn. And that little dude was so happy. He couldn't believe that. He was shocked. But man, you ask, bro, anybody that's in the mix, bro, like, you know, bro, most of these dudes, bro, putting on a major act. They don't want to be themselves.
It's crazy.
They'll get mad at you for buying bottles of champagne to get the girls. They'll get mad, oh, we don't want these bottle rats in our section. What are we here for? Why are y'all here then? What are y'all here for? Just because y'all got booked to be here, okay, but sometimes they not booked. They just in there. So, and what they looking for, it ain't gonna be what you thinking of. On God, seen it.
What's up? This is Cam Capone. We got more content like this coming soon, so hit that like button, subscribe, and stay locked in to Cam.
50 Cent doesn't move like a politician, he moves like a tactician. The documentary frames his approach as deliberate and precise. Fast responses, sharp punchlines, and content engineered for maximum replay value in a digital battlefield. It highlights a simple but brutal reality of the online era. Once something becomes repeatable, it becomes powerful. And once the crowd is laughing, the conversation often shifts before the facts even catch up. In that moment, perception doesn't just influence the narrative, it becomes the narrative. What makes this strategy so effective is its speed. In a culture driven by clips, reactions, and remixes, the strongest argument isn't always the most detailed one. It's the one people repeat, quote, and share without thinking twice. But the documentary also raises a deeper tension beneath the surface. When humor becomes a weapon, the rules start to blur. What feels like entertainment to one audience can feel like targeting to another. And once that line is crossed, control over the narrative stops belonging to just one side. So, it leaves an uncomfortable question hanging in the air. In a world where laughter can decide winners and losers, who gets to define what's fair?
You know Busta Rhymes came out, telling people to mind their business when it comes to Diddy, right?
You got to realize that Busta Rhymes and anybody in the industry could say what they want to say and speak on what they want to speak. They got a right to do that. Just like we got a right to. He can't tell nobody not to say this, not to say that, when he has the right to say what he want to say. And I guess that's why people coming out on Busta Rhymes saying he's zesty now, because he made comments like that. But I've been around Busta. I know Busta Rhymes. I don't never know him for being like that. But I don't know what other people see, and I'm not going to speak on that. Because I don't care about that. See, a lot of people, if that's all he could give to the people, then that's all he giving to the people. But not one time, did he speak on his relationship with Diddy? Has he been to the Diddy party? Has he been to the after party? Did he say, well, I've never been to an after party, so y'all gotta wait to speak on, y'all gotta wait to see what they talking about before y'all speak on.
Everything shifts the moment Diddy enters the narrative. Not just as an individual, but as a symbol of influence, access, and a history that continues to cast a long shadow. Boo's call for restraint around him is interpreted in two very different ways. To some, it represents loyalty, respect, and an understanding of how powerful relationships operate behind the scenes. To others, it feels more complicated, like caution shaped by pressure, unspoken tension, or the weight of consequences that don't need to be openly stated. That contrast is what makes the situation so charged. In environments where power dynamics are deeply embedded, even silence or careful wording can carry meaning. What sounds like diplomacy to one audience can sound like hesitation to another. And so the ambiguity becomes its own force, fueling interpretation, debate, and speculation about what is being protected, what is being avoided, and what cannot be said out loud.
Say I've never been to an after party. Have I been to the front door of the party? Yeah. Have I been to the after party? Nah, never.
Never been to the freak house, huh? I mean, since I've been knowing you, you've been consistent about that. So, I believe you, man. But you heard about these reports that Diddy having a hard time selling his Hollywood home? It's not attracting any buyers?
It probably wouldn't attract any buyers until after, a lot of times when tragedies happen and people be in those type of places with the energy going, it would be around 5 years before they go up on market and resell. Like if somebody murdered in the house, you gotta realize they're not gonna go in there and somebody say, oh shit, I wanna be here, man. Motherfucker was murdered in here. You understand? Those houses may not go up to sell for like 5 years.
Right. And what's going on with Tony Busby? I seen you make a comment saying that he might drop his cases.
I think that's a misunderstanding. What I'm saying to you is that he's gonna go with the cases that he know right off the bat that Puff is really probably ready to settle out because it's so strong and the evidence may be so strong against Puff that he don't want that to run through the public or let the public hear those things. As a lawyer, he's going to say, these cases are strong enough for me to get the quick grab money and go about my business. And then if he gets enough money off of that, he may not have to do the other cases. He may drop the other people. It depends. He's gonna go with his strongest cases.
The documentary doesn't offer a verdict, but it does force viewers to sit with an uncomfortable reality. How often celebrity circles close ranks when pressure rises, whether through loud defense, strategic silence, or careful distance. In that environment, actions and inactions start to speak just as loudly as words. Support can look like loyalty, but it can also be shaped by caution. Silence can look like neutrality, but it can also reflect awareness of consequences that aren't always visible on the surface. And when a scandal grows too large to contain, every reaction becomes part of the narrative itself. Who speaks, who steps back, and who stays silent all begin to carry meaning beyond the surface. That's where the documentary leaves its most difficult question hanging. When people protect each other in moments of controversy, is it loyalty, courage, or simply self-preservation dressed in a different form?
50. You know good and well that I woke up to this bullshit you done started this morning, and I was the one that was leaving everybody alone. So what you doing is giving niggas false narratives, homie. You talking about you just went to buy a leather jacket. You ain't bothering nobody. You left niggas alone. And I went and bought a leather fucking hairline. Well, let me tell you something, buddy. On some real G shit. Let me tell you something. You talking about that pimpin' curly that you was doing as a character? But no, you was doing pimpin' curly in real life too. Trying to look like Rico Suave or one of them niggas going down a red carpet at one of them movie shits that you was involved with. And I don't want you to use that as no excuse neither, talking about you was playing a character. You wasn't in character when you had to go down that red carpet. You could have got back to yourself, my nigga, but you chose to stay in character with that Rico Suave shit, some berries and sweet juices you had up in your head top, my nigga. Now, I do want you to know I'm your brother, so I'm gonna always support you and everything you do. I ain't been doing nothing but that since the inception of our friendship. Fired up. Now, with that being said, I got one question to the masses. There's several products that you have to incorporate to get your shit to look like Rico 50. All right? Fuck Rico Suave. We talking about Rico 50. Let's see which one of the products that he used to get to looking like Rico 50. Was it this? Or was it this? Or was it this? Matter of fact, I think the real question is, did he blend all three of these shits to look like this? Chill. I got a grand prize for anyone that jumps in the comments, any consumer around the world that used to also use these products to help identify, doing a forensic deep dive and a research and a data analytics on those products to help us understand, was it a combined effort of all three, or was it a combined effort of two, or was it just one of them to get you to look like Rico 50? Now, with that being said, if you guess right what the blend was chemically for that motherfucking berry juice look for Rico 50, you might win a grand prize. Until then, just know, the blessings don't stop, so we gonna just keep this shit going as long as we need to, because if the blessings don't stop, I don't motherfucking stop, and we don't stop. Dragon season, bitches. Yeah.
The documentary captures that turning point where humor fades into discomfort and entertainment quietly shifts into scrutiny. What once felt like content begins to feel like evidence, and the audience itself starts changing shape from spectators into interpreters. Once that shift happens, the conversation is no longer just cultural, it becomes moral. People start weighing impact, intent, and consequence, while sponsors, collaborators, and peers reassess risk in real time. In that space, reputation can change faster than facts can be verified. It reflects a hard reality of fame. Public judgment rarely waits for full understanding. It moves quickly, often driven by fragments, emotion, and momentum rather than context. And that's where the tension sits. When the crowd turns, it can look like accountability, but it can also resemble something more unstable, a search for resolution that sometimes demands a target before it demands the truth. So, the question remains, is the shift toward accountability, or simply the internet finding its next focus?
Brown,
Back. What's up, bro?
back again.
Yes, sir.
Man, how you doing?
I'm I'm good. I had fun Saturday. It was amazing. I can't remember anything, but it was amazing. I appreciate you for allowing me to sit back with you for a second time for the second interview. You guys say. Yeah, bro.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah.
Well, what's going on with you?
Okay, so I just got this opportunity, Orlando's World, from what I understand. We're supposed to be doing some cool things. That was an opportunity given to me from you and Flossie. Definitely feel like it's a opportunity to do a 6-month situation before we do the Orlando Brown show, because a lot of people don't want me to do the show per se. There is a Hollywood couch that I have not been on. There is a Hollywood couch that a lot of people spin on and look forward to. Me personally, I haven't been looking forward to do that, but I'm definitely looking forward to do Orlando's World, the Orlando Brown show, after we see how I handle the podcast.
So we're doing a podcast. You're gonna have your own podcast on Cam Capone News. Me, you, Flossie. What can people expect?
Well, it's the mind of the producers that invited themselves into my life. You got Flossie, got you. You guys have given me some great ideas. You know, what about you and Tekashi 6ix9ine going paintballing? What about you and Jamie Foxx just you know what I'm saying, just going doing whatever, just wine tasting or something. It's just it's a podcast, from what I understand, that will change the dynamic of podcasting, because everybody's sitting in their homes and they're getting an astronomical amount of Burger King money. If you work at Burger King, you can make this money sitting in your house if you have the right amount of material, or you have the right person sitting in front of your camera. So you can, anytime that person does well, you do well. Anytime you make some money, they make some money, but you make more. It's just a different situation.
Any response to 50? He jokes a lot online. He posted the picture, the video. What were your thoughts?
50's my brother. But 50 also know I'm not gonna stop. The same way he not gonna stop, I'm not gonna stop. We both come from a family called Violator family. So we ain't got no problem violating, number one. And number two, I think the most important thing about this back and forth with me and him is that people don't lose sight of how important it is to have a sense of humor, and it not be some where your skin ain't tough enough to be able to keep it as fun and games. We grew up snapping on each other and joking with each other from elementary school to being grown men. And you did that with your friends. Now, if we wasn't friends, there wouldn't be no games to play. But we got love, and it's genuine love. So I can indulge in this and laugh. It's okay to have a sense of humor and not be emotional like bitches. You know what I'm saying? So 50, I'm coming for your ass, bruh. Be careful.
A lawsuit gets dismissed, charges get reduced, headlines get rewritten, and suddenly it feels like a victory. Even when it's simply the outcome of legal procedure, the documentary highlights a growing misconception of the modern era. Court updates are treated as final verdicts, while public perception is mistaken for truth. In reality, legal systems are complex, slow, and layered. A dismissal doesn't always mean innocence. Just as an allegation doesn't automatically equal guilt, it often reflects timing, evidence standards, and procedural limits that rarely make it into viral headlines. But in the age of instant information, nuance gets lost. A headline spreads faster than context, and by the time details emerge, the narrative has already solidified in public opinion. That's where the distortion begins. Courtroom developments become social media conclusions, and shifting legal stages are interpreted as definitive endings. And so the documentary leaves a sharp reminder behind. When perception moves faster than process, the real question isn't what happened in court. It's what people believe happened before the facts are even understood.
Tour. Busta Rhymes was opening up for you guys at one point.
Right.
The U.S. part, I think, of the tour?
Yeah. No, he came to some of Europe.
Oh, some of Europe tour?
Yeah.
Okay. Busta's a legend, by the way.
Yes.
One of the greatest hip-hop performers,
of course, yes.
period. Him and Wyclef, I put near the very top out of all performers.
Okay.
But recently, 50 and Busta were going, having a friendly back and
they
forth.
put the picture. Yeah. I've seen, that's...
And 50 put Busta cannot wear this to humor harmony.
Yeah, I mean, you know how 50 is, man. 50's crazy, man. It's all humor, man.
That outfit is horrible,
Then I seen Busta post something up. But you see, you know, 50 is crazy. He could dish what he takes. So you fuck with him on who you think is the 5 people? Let's think of the 5 people I would never want to argue with on the internet. 50. Who would you say? Look, hold on. Let me give my 5. 50. Charleston White. Right?
I've argued with him before.
But he keeps going Charleston White. Whack 100, you would say?
Okay.
Who else would you put there? I know 50, Charleston White, Whack 100. Who
Kendrick Lamar?
I'm just, we talking about Instagram. I mean,
okay, Instagram.
We talking about.
He's not an IG guy.
You love Kendrick right now. You ain't fucking with Drake right now. Come on, we got to be able to go to Canada.
I'm fucking with Drake. I'm a Drake fan.
Nah, I felt like it was a good battle, man.
It was a great battle. Okay, so I see where you're going with this.
I'm
okay,
saying
50, social media.
50, you don't want to fuck with 50 on there. He'll kill you on the gram. I said Charleston White.
But the law is a process, not a punchline, and its outcomes rarely fit the public's need for simple, satisfying answers. Legal decisions unfold through evidence standards, procedure, and technical thresholds that don't always translate neatly into public narratives. When that complexity gets reduced into quick interpretations, where a dismissal is seen as innocence or a procedural outcome is treated like a moral conclusion, the original meaning gets lost in translation. The gap between what the law determines and what the public believes grows wider. That's where the deeper tension emerges. Accountability in a legal sense is not always the same as accountability in a moral or social sense, and the two don't always move in sync. So, the question becomes harder to answer. When outcomes are shaped by procedure rather than public expectation, what does true accountability actually look like? And who gets to define it?
Crazy, Whack 100, because Whack 100 will put up your address and all kinds of
1090 Jake.
You think 1090?
He'll put out some paperwork on you didn't even know existed.
That's true too.
Yeah.
But that's a whole different thing. I'm just saying, like
Boosie.
Yeah.
Boosie will go hard at you.
Yeah.
Because remember, Boosie and Blue were going at it.
Boosie.
And then, unfortunately, Boosie's my man, but I don't agree. He basically pointed out that Young Blue's child, I think, was autistic, and he kind of took a shot at that.
I like Young Blue, Boosie. I like both of them. I try to stay out of it. Hopefully, they can work it out. You know.
Yeah.
They both got a lot of money. I kind of stay out of their issues, but if they fuck with Blue hard, and niggas fuck with Boosie hard, but you know how it's the industry. You just stay out the way. You stay out of people's beef. When I got beef, I don't expect nobody to jump in anything for me.
Yeah, me too.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah. But you know how the industry is. You have to choose a side.
Unfortunately.
Right.
And trying to be neutral sometimes gets you messed up on both sides.
Right.
Both people stop fucking with you by being neutral.
Yeah, right. And people could look at it a certain way. That's like what you were saying with the game thing. Like, game at the show.
By the end, the documentary makes one thing clear. The real conflict isn't 50 Cent versus Busta Rhymes, or even the lingering shadow of Diddy. It's the system that transforms private history into public spectacle. It points to a broader ecosystem where power networks, strategic silence, shifting alliances, and viral amplification all intersect. In that space, narratives don't just emerge naturally, they are shaped, reframed, and circulated until they become their own version of reality. Hip-hop, in this framing, is more than music. It becomes a cultural arena where influence, perception, and reputation move like currency, where beats and bars exist alongside politics, positioning, and public image. And at the center of it all is a lingering contradiction. Everyone claims to want the truth, but truth is rarely convenient, and even less often safe. So, the final tension remains unresolved. When honesty threatens careers, relationships, and entire legacies, who is truly willing to speak it out loud?